Shifting breezes grace the inner spectrum of your glance.
Welcome back to another episode of the Minds with Hakeem podcast. On this episode, I interview my buddy Ian Warner. Ian has been an entrepreneur since 2009. He's also the founder of the Habit Stacker, which helps people develop winning habits. He's originally from Canada, but got a scholarship to run track at Iowa State. During his junior season at Iowa State, he made the 2012 Canadian Olympic team in London. He now lives in Des Moines with his wife and 3 children. There's a ton of takeaways in this episode. I hope you guys enjoy what we covered today. This episode of the Minds with Hakeem podcast is sponsored by my buddy, Jared Nicholson, who's a mortgage advisor at Key Mortgage Group. For you first-time and new home buyers, let me let you in on the secret. Mortgage rates are extremely low. And my buddy Jared is active to educate his borrowers and expose blind spots that they might not even be aware of. Man, this guy's the best option to make your lifetime lender. You can reach him at jnhomeloan.com. I'll say it again, jnhomeloan.com, jnhomeloan.com. Yo, welcome back to another episode of The Minds with Hakeem. I'm here with my brother, Ian Warner. Say what's up to the people, bro.
Super amped to be on the podcast,
Yes,
man.
sir.
You know what it is.
We finna have some fun today,
Yeah,
bro.
You're my dude who I go to. We can just talk all day. So
Yeah, same.
I'm really excited for this.
I probably call you a little bit too much, but we'll deal with it. So jumping off, we're gonna talk about habits today and like why is it important to build good habits and how can it help you young professionals be successful? But before we get started, y'all already know we got the icebreaker question for my brother Ian. Give us your top 3 people, dead or alive, brother, you go have a cup of coffee with to get information from, give what you learn, and just sit down and just unpack stuff.
So my first dead would be Joseph from the Bible.
Yeah.
And the reason why is just like to have your own brothers do you like that, throw you in a pit, but then still come back from that.
Come out a king.
Be able to forgive. And just go on to do a lot of, what he ended up doing in his life. I would love to just hear what that was like.
Yeah.
Like that's just I can't even imagine.
That's one of the craziest stories in the
It
Bible,
is
for
so
real.
crazy to have your own bros, man.
Yeah, just trade you like a slave, bro.
Like it's nothing, man.
And then for him to come out of that, oh my goodness, that's a great answer.
So that's who I would say for 2 people alive that I would love to meet, sit down with, have some coffee with. Honestly, right now, actually, I would actually say Obama. And it's not even because like
Shout out Obama.
So just for context, for everyone listening, like I'm from Canada. So I came to the United States in 2008 to go to Iowa State for college. And that was right when he got in, but so much is happening in my life. Like I didn't really care about politics or whatever. So it's hard for me to even say, oh, like I appreciated Obama or I didn't like. It's not even about that. Like one, he's an amazing speaker, but then also just to learn like what it was like being president and then transitioning out and the last 4 years and what that's been like. And I just think it would be really interesting to learn from him and hear what he has to say. Dude.
And like that's crazy. Shout out Obama because the last 3 episodes on the Minds, people said last 3 or 4, should I say? People put Obama in there, and like I think it's because he's rational, like how rational he is, like as we see what we see in today.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
And then the last one, this one, a lot of people may not know or may be surprised by, but Genghis Khan. So one of my favorite books is a book on Genghis Khan's life, and so one of my favorite.
Hold up, give some context about Genghis Khan because I'm not sure I know who that is.
So Genghis Khan is a conqueror who conquered like the most land anyone has ever conquered, I believe.
What country?
He conquered everything, basically Europe, a bit of Northern Africa, I believe, all the way through a lot of Asia.
Wow.
And all on foot and just, it's just, but
that's
like,
crazy.
He has a quote that I just love and he's like, there's no good in anything until it's finished. And he a lot of people have a very negative connotation of him because he killed a lot of people, but it's just a different time. Like wealth then was land. And it's not comparable to what we do today. We're not sitting on computers, like, building websites and you know what I mean, getting Instagram followers. So
he was getting land.
Yeah, he was getting land. And there's rumors that he has, I think like 14% of the world or something like that has his DNA, because that's how many people he raped. And like there's just a lot to it. But I would love to just learn and understand like what things were like then, like just like the toughness, but like also his leadership, right?
Yeah.
To lead an army that big.
You gotta have you gotta, like, and it's a negative word, but you gotta have a cult-like following. You got to do that.
Yep.
Like,
and you gotta have people.
He mastered that.
Exactly. You gotta have people ready to bang at any moment.
Out. I want to see what that's about.
So yeah, I would recommend that to anybody. He has a book. I think it's called Genghis Khan: The Making of the Modern World. But it's a really good book, and yeah, I learned so much from it. But that's who my other person I would love to sit down with would be.
Yo, that's crazy. Like that's dope. I would love to check that out. I'm gonna bug you about that after this. But before we jump into habits, bro, can you just check in with the pandemic? How you doing? How your family doing? I know it's been tough personally, but
so I would actually say personally, I've been fortunate. It's been a great year. I naturally, so I come off to most people like I'm extroverted and I can talk all day, but I'm actually introverted, and I really, like, I love to write, I love to read, I love to do a lot of things where I'm alone. And this year has been a really good opportunity to do a lot of that.
Yeah.
And it's been a great opportunity to just spend time with family. You know, Thanksgiving just went, and this is our first Thanksgiving since we've been married. You know, my beautiful wife, Emily, and I have 3 kids, and we just spent it together. There was no other family there, and I really enjoyed it. So there's been a lot of positives from a personal standpoint. From a society standpoint.
Ooh, that's different.
From a society standpoint, it has been a very interesting year, and I think it's brought out the worst of people in a lot of ways. And it's been kind of sad, but like I still laugh. You know, I shouldn't say I laugh at it, but thinking back to when Kobe died, I thought that was gonna be the big story of the year, and it's like that's like an after. It seems like that didn't even happen this year.
Chadwick died.
It's like yes, Chadwick died.
Bro.
You had, George Floyd.
Bro.
You had Australian fires. California been on fire like the whole year.
Breonna Taylor.
Like, so you've had all of these things happen, and then you have a presidential election on top of it. And so it's been a lot. And
bro, it's been tough. Dang, I never really just even ran through the list. Like, bro, Kobe died 2020. Like, and it feels like that was forever ago, but like it's like, yo, this year's been crazy, and that was the start of the year. Was it February? Right?
Yeah, that was the start of the year. I think it was. I think it was February. So.
Dude, like, and like I remember like talking to people about like my mom and stuff about like when Michael Jackson died, like how emotional she was. That's my first time, no disrespect to celebrity, ever crying tears when a celebrity died. Like that hit different. Then after that, the melee after that,
yeah, it's I think Kobe dying hit a lot of black men really hard,
bro.
And it's just like the worst year, and that was just like the tipping point of the year. Bro, that was just like we were just getting warmed up.
That wasn't even like, nothing. Like no disrespect to Kobe, that was just. But like, and with all that being said, like if you still doing your stuff and you still figuring it out in 2020, you're a survivor because we've been through a lot, bro. Like, and that's my first time running through the list. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, and I also had a pandemic baby too. So I had a baby in
Shout out, Bo.
Like,
Shout out, Bo.
Bo out here killing the game. So,
bro,
shout out to Bo.
First son.
Yes, first son.
First son. Oh my goodness.
Had a son. So yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like Drew knows it. My kids are wild. So
yeah, his kids are his kids. Let me just say that, bro. Like they bring so much light and joy to you, bro.
Yes.
And they embody that. I think that's a testament to you and E.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
But so let's jump off here. Knowing that habit is a behavior, how much strength does it take to build these healthy habits and these healthy habits that work for you, should I say? So how much strength does it take?
So I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions people probably have about habits. And people think it all comes down to willpower, where it's like, I need to be able to have a cookie sitting right in front of me and be like, just don't eat the cookie and eat these vegetables.
Yeah.
And like, so a lot of people think that really disciplined people can see a cookie right in front of them and just not eat it. And it's like, no, what really disciplined people do is they're smart enough to know that you don't even want that cookie there in the first place.
Yeah.
Don't bring the cookie home. Because you bring cookies around me, I'm gonna
It's
eat them all
done.
up. And listen, I go hard on whatever I do. So
Yeah.
you bring cookies, I'm eating the whole box.
Yeah.
You bring some gummies,
Ain't no in between.
I'm finishing it right there.
Ain't no
It's
in between.
Done. It's done. Like Emily can't understand it. Like she can have like a Hershey chocolate bar. She can have like 2 squares, put it in the fridge, come back,
Yeah.
have another square. I'm like, no, I'm finishing it now. Now.
And that's crazy.
And it will be done in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So what I realized was that what really disciplined people do is they put themselves in positions to succeed.
Okay.
So what that starts with is figuring out like what some of your weaknesses are and making sure you're not around them at all.
Yeah.
So for some men, for example, right? If you know you have issues with lust and like watching porn and things like that, bro, don't have a porn blocker on your phone. Have a porn blocker on your browsers and stuff like that. Make sure that you're not logged into your Instagram. Do things to make it easy for you so that it's hard to even do the thing that's going down the wrong path.
Exactly.
So that's one of the biggest things I try to help people with right off the bat is realizing that half the battle is putting yourself in a position to succeed. You know this well from who you hang around. You hang around people who are all smoking weed.
Yeah.
You're going to start smoking weed.
Just as simple.
So one of the best things you can do if you want to stop doing a certain behavior is move away from people who consistently do that thing on a regular basis and instead hang around people who are acting in a way that you
want to portray, that you want to be.
Exactly. They're doing what you
are. You are the average of who you hang out with.
The average of the 5 people.
Like in that, like a buddy of mine referenced in the previous episode. If you're around 10 bosses, you're gonna be the 11th.
You want to be the 11th. Yep.
So it's the same difference in everything in life, like with habits and stuff like that.
And this is where Christians get this wrong. So for context, you and I are in the same small group.
For sure.
And the reason small groups are so important is because what a lot of Christians try and do is be like, well, I'm gonna go to church on Sunday, but everyone I hang around is not a Christian. It's like, no, it doesn't work because who's influencing you on a regular basis? They're all putting values and getting you to do things that don't align with what scriptures are telling you to do.
Yeah.
So you gotta have a community of people that you're hanging around that are acting consistently with how you want to behave.
And like positive or negative community is needed.
Yes.
So if you want to be positive, get a positive community. I think that's the biggest takeaway from that whole answer. If you want to be negative, where the negative people hanging out at. Like we having a conversation about that today. Like where they at. You can find them. You can they right there at your fingertips. Right there.
100%.
So for real. But how challenging is it, bro, to create good habits and maintain them? Like, how challenging is that for you personally?
So I've learned a secret that really isn't a secret, but it makes common sense, but we just don't think about it the right way in the moment. So when you want to build a new habit, what you need to do is start small. What too many people try and do is, and this podcast is an example, if you started this podcast and you would have been like, bro, I'm posting every day.
Yeah.
I'd be like, this thing, he's gonna last 1 week.
Yep. He's gonna burn himself out.
He's gonna post 4 times. He's gonna see how much work it is. And he's gonna be like, I ain't doing that. You're gonna look on, you can see you got like 10 downloads the first one, and you're gonna get discouraged. And you'll be like, I'm not doing this every day.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is start small. So with working out, for example, right? You have been playing basketball for a lot of your life.
Yeah.
So working out and basketball habits are very easy. You can go to the gym and put in 2 hours of work on the court, right?
Yeah.
But if I do that, my knees are gonna hurt. So what I need to do is start small.
Build
Just
that endurance.
2 minutes of playing some basketball, 5 minutes of playing some basketball. One of the simpler ways for just general people just wanting to start working out, start by doing a push-up. Just do one push-up, and then that's your workout.
Wow.
And to some people, it's like, well, it's a waste of time because, like, what's the point of that? But it's like, no, by doing one push-up, you're getting yourself in the routine of showing up for your workout every day.
Yeah.
When you do that for a week, now let's do 5 push-ups. Now let's do 10 push-ups. Now let's go run for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now let's go run for 10 minutes and then do 100 push-ups. And you just keep ramping it up and ramping it up. Before you know it, you'll be doing 2-hour workouts and you'll be into it and you'll be enjoying it. And your body won't have to go through being extremely sore. Because that's the other thing that deters people. You're like, oh, I'm going to work out. You go in the gym, bench press. Next day,
my chest,
your chest,
my knees.
You can't walk, you can't do anything, and then you have to rest, and that gets you out of the routine. Then you lose. So That's one of the biggest things. Combining, starting small with changing your circle of who you're hanging around, that will do it.
That'll put you in the right position.
Exactly.
You know.
Like if you hang around people, just for the example of working out, you hang around people that are fitness freaks, quote unquote, like like in like Instagram, model type of thing.
Exactly.
You're going to change. We are hardwired as humans to want to fit in with something. We all need to fit in somewhere.
We need to have something to cling to.
We need to have something. So you don't want to have all your friends being got these washboard abs.
And you just
eating Cheetos every night.
Bare belly.
Yeah, exactly.
Thugging.
You're gonna change. So.
Nah, but and then like to jump back to that statement you made, like the aspect of like starting small is so misguided, because like I think that goes back to entitlement, and that's just me. Like people feel like, so for me, if I'm starting a podcast, I want to be Joe Rogan tomorrow. No, bro. Joe Rogan got 1,700 episodes. Like, bro, like he started small and look at him now. Like, but like starting small, you lose. I mean, you if you start small, you won't lose track of your big picture. Like if you start small, so small goals, small habits get you to benching 225 20 times. If you start out benching 135, 5 reps a day five sets, 5 reps all week, that's gonna build that habit up to going there. And okay, now I'm at 185. But you can't just go to the weight room, bro. And nobody who don't work out can go to the weight room right now and bench 225. Nope. I put $150 on it. Like,
you have to work on showing up first. Showing up is actually the trick. And then once you get consistent with showing up, then you can work on the volume. So once you say, okay, I'm now in the, like this podcast is a part of your life. Yeah. You have your friends are involved with it. Your ladies involved with it. Like you have your people who are around you on it. And now it's a part of your life. Now we can start to ramp it up. Yep. But what people try and do, like you said, and I blame this on social media. I'll tell you why. Social media.
Here we go. I love
has
it.
Made people think, okay, I see this person, and because I just found out about you and you're successful, you just blow up overnight. And it's like, bro, this guy's been doing this. Like Joe Rogan's been doing his podcast before you knew about the Joe Rogan podcast.
I promise. Like for real.
He stuck with it. And mind you, there is no one, and the best example I give, is Kobe Bryant, and we were just talking about him, so I'm gonna, show him some love. This guy was putting up over 400 shots a day before he was in high school. Yeah. So if he's putting up 400 shots a day, by the time he gets to the end of high school, if you decide your junior year of high school, man, I want to be great at basketball. This guy has already put in so many more reps.
He got you by 2 million attempts.
There's literally no way you can even catch up at that point. Yeah. But let's say you start and you want to start putting in the work. The only way you're going to do it is if you stay consistent and you put in the work, you put in those shots. So when I was growing up running track, I fell into this naturally because track is boring in terms of training. Like it's just repetitions of sprinting. You show up.
Perfect form.
Block starts. You're going to do 10 block starts. And I remember one of my friends coming in one day. He was like, Ian, like my fingers literally hurt. All we're doing is block starts. Like, how do you get fast? And I'm like, bro, this is how you get fast. Right. And what I started realizing is success in everything is boring. It's boring. It's boring.
It's
That's
copy
why
paste
people
almost.
don't stick with it, because it's boring. Like to do this podcast, what people see is this when you're on YouTube. But the actual life is boring. You got to edit. You got to set up all this stuff. You got to talk to people. You got to work on getting sponsorship. Like all of the stuff required to make the podcast successful that people will never see is actually boring.
And it's leg work.
And it's just grind. You just have to show up and do it.
For real.
And that's what the problem is. People want the fame. They want the money. But they don't want to put in
instant gratification.
They don't want to put in the time. So when I look at like my blog, for example, thehabitstacker.com gets, it's at about 1,000 hits a day now. Right? But what people don't know is since the start of 2019, I've been posting minimum 2 articles a day. Every day. Most days I post 4.
Exactly.
So I have 2 different blogs. I have a Christian blog. I have Habit Stacker.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them right now. I post 4 articles.
What's
a
your
day.
Christian website?
Boast in Christ.
Boast in Christ. I
Yeah.
want to get that out there. And
So-
both of them will be in the notes.
Both of them. So I post 4 articles a day
Mhm.
on both of them, and it sucks. Like there's nothing fun about it. Like I'll be
Mhm.
sitting there, like I'm like, oh my gosh, like I haven't posted, I haven't got them all in yet. I got to do editing. I got to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily always enjoy doing,
Mhm.
but I know what consistency does. It adds up. It adds up. It
'Cause-
adds up. It adds up.
And wait, so since we talking about consistency and
Mhm.
like this time, like, and I know you, so I know you have a full-time job, but I kind of want you to jump into your schedule, bro. Like, tell the people what time you get up. Tell the people how long you up with 3 kids and a wife.
Yeah.
Yes. So talk about that.
Before I jump into that, I will say this: my schedule is one of the reasons why habits are so important.
Yes, sir.
Because habits allow you to be efficient, and I value like relationships and being relational.
Mhm.
But at the same time, what actually did this to me was one of my friends I grew up running track with committed suicide, and what it did to me was it showed me how short life is. Like I was just
Yes.
like, whoa! Like I was only 25 years old, and it just made me realize like you have to lock in because you don't know when your time is, and like just life just goes by. So I don't want to waste my minutes, man.
Yo.
Like I got a certain amount of minutes here. I'm gonna use every
Let's
one of them.
dive in, like for real.
So from that, I started realizing, and Eric Thomas was the one who really put me on. Like he started talking
ET's
about,
dope.
He started talking about 3:00 in the morning. I'm like, there's no way this cat gets up at 3:00 in the morning. I refuse. I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna try it. So I started small. I was working a job in Oklahoma City. I hated it. It was my first job out of college. Hated it. Never hated anything like that in my life. I had to get out of it. So I would get up for that at 7:00, and I'm not joking. I would literally leave the house, and I would say to Emily, "Well, off to slavery today." I would literally say that to her. I'd be like,
That was the
I was
mindset.
like, off to slavery today. It was the dumbest thing ever. I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get out of this thing. So I started waking up at 6, and I started waking up at 5. Then I started waking up at 4. Then I tried at 3:00, and like it was life changing because I basically lived 2 days in one day, and this is before I had kids. So I would have from 3:00 till 7:00 where I could basically do whatever I wanted. No one was up. No one's on social media. No one's texting me. No one's calling me. My wife's asleep.
No distraction.
No distractions. Focused. So the work I could do in that time, it was like more than what most people can do in an 8-hour day.
Yes.
And I just couldn't stop.
Yes.
So now that I have kids, it's really awesome because they wake up really
the
early.
kids get up early now too.
So I don't have the same block of time,
Yeah.
but my wife doesn't have to get up because I'm already up all the time.
Yeah.
But basically what happens is, so I'm up at, my alarm goes off 3:10.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go into the kitchen. I'll read scripture for usually 20, 30 minutes, and I'll drink a cup of tea. And then I'll go get on the computer, and I'll start posting my 4 blogs for the day on Habit Stacker.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime in that period, one of the kids usually gets up.
Ray comes
then
stumbling
Ray,
downstairs.
usually Ray, so I'll take Ray, and usually, like, and I hate to say this, but I'll usually just let her watch something on like YouTube or whatever, because it's the only thing that can lock them in, so I can get the stuff done that I need to get done to start the day. So then I'll do that. Ivy will get up, so I'll usually be getting them snacks and going back and forth between whatever they need
And whatever you're doing.
whatever I'm doing. And then from there, my work day will start usually at actually no. Pause. Emily will get up. She'll usually give me Bo so she can go to the bathroom and do other stuff, get her coffee. I'll have Bo, so I'll just play with the kids for a
It's
little bit.
around 6 now, right?
Yes, this is around. Usually she's up like 6:30.
Yeah.
So then 7:00, I usually start making breakfast. I'll make breakfast for the kids. So 7 to 8, I just spend with them. 8:00, I start like my actual job, which is really nice now because I'm working from home. So I start my job. And I actually really like the job I have right now. My boss is really dope. Christian dude. Really like him. So
That's
then,
good. That's healthy.
Yeah, it is. And having a good boss is everything.
Yeah.
So then I'll do that for like my work day. Usually I work out at lunch. So when it's lunchtime, I'll go do my thing with that. And then I usually do a lot of my other habits at lunchtime too. So I'll work out. I'll try and read for 15 to 20 minutes. Always check to make sure like my hydration's where it needs to be. Because that's one thing, to be up as long as I'm up, I gotta be hydrated. If I don't hydrate, like I can usually feel it. The other thing that I like to do every day is I'll usually write down my checklist for the next day.
Yeah.
So I always know what needs to be done. So I have a large checklist of things that I need to do, and then I'll make just like a 3-step checklist for the next day. So I usually do that at lunch, so I know what I'm doing tomorrow. So I'll do that as well.
And with all that being said, like laying out your schedule, do you make time for like activity or like entertainment? Like, cause I know we got a lot of lollygaggers like in this world today, and I'm not saying like people used to associate gamers with lollygagging. Like some of these gamers are making the big bucks, bro. But like we got a lot of people who waste a lot of time and like you need to have a balance. So I'm just asking, do you do anything for activity? Like you watch a show or right now?
So
Because you got your hands full.
What I will do for entertainment is usually if I'm gonna watch something, I'll watch like videos like Minority Mindset on YouTube.
Yeah, he's dope.
I'll watch stuff on YouTube that's entertaining and also teaching me something.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to just straight up like just wasting time, like just that type of entertainment, I will usually only do that if Emily wants to watch something with me. So that's the only way it's worth it for me.
Okay.
If Emily wants, Emily likes The Bachelorette.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch that with her because it's funny for us. It's a way to spend time with her.
Yeah.
So I'll do that.
That's dope.
So usually that will be in the evening, and I will only do it if I've gotten everything done. Like
for real.
I literally cannot mentally like enjoy my life until I've done the things I feel like I need to do. So the reason why that is a good thing sometimes, like there's negatives to that, but there's too many people out here today who they're just always treating themselves. I'm like, what do you haven't done nothing.
I gotta treat myself. That's what people say.
Yes. And like, it's like you deserve to be treated.
Yeah.
Like, no, you deserve to shut up and work.
Like for real.
Put in the work that needs to be put in.
Yeah.
Now, so that later on you can have the things that you want to have. Because that's what people miss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our lives are simply the results of the actions we've taken yesterday.
Yes.
So where you are today, whether you like it or not, it's because of the choices you've made yesterday.
Yes.
So when I made the Olympic team in 2012, it was a result of 15 years of choices in terms of showing up to practice, putting in the work, and doing things other kids weren't willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Stretching every night,
uncomfortable,
eating properly, taking my vitamins, supplements, all that stuff.
And that goes back to like, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Like he was talking about in high school when people would be eating lunch. Mm-hmm. He was the one kid that'd just go to the gym during lunch. Like, no, I can eat after school, bro. I'm a workout. And then that got really uncomfortable for people because he's a lone wolf in the gym. And his teammates like, yeah, we got to start going to the gym with Kobe during lunch. Like that's separation. Like just doing stuff that you don't want to do. Like waking up and stretching is hard, bro. It's hard. Oh my goodness. But just waking up and stretching, like as an athlete, like that's important. That's essential to you for your longevity of your career and what you're trying to accomplish, bro. But it's uncomfortable.
Yep. And I would ask anyone watching this, I would ask this question. What are you doing every single day that other people aren't?
Ooh.
Every day, right? Because see, anybody can do it once, right?
Yeah.
And that's what habits and consistency is all about. Anybody can do a podcast, a couple. Promise. They can do 4 podcasts, 5 podcasts. But can you do 1,000? Can you do
1,600? Joe Rogan.
Yes. Right. Can you do it like that? Can you consistently crank it out year in, year out? So one thing I've done, and I challenge people to do this as well. I set decade-long things that I'm gonna stick with. Like literally the habits, like working on like my habit app and my site and everything I'm building with habits. Mm-hmm. I'm getting a deck. I literally have I can literally show you.
Yeah. There you go.
My phone,
I hear a noise, Mike. Can you hear that? Okay. No, you good. I was just making sure it wasn't coming from the mics. But yeah. He said I got a decade.
Look at that right there. I got 2,860 days of working on habits left. I literally will not quit until I hit 0.
But you didn't start like you didn't start with that decade goal. You built up, you worked up, and now you got.
Yeah. So basically what I did was I just said, and just so the camera can see it,
for real.
Like right up in that
top corner.
Right there. I'll make it big.
Yeah.
Right?
How many days was that? 2,000.
So I had 7 years, 9 months, 27 days, 13 hours, 12 minutes.
So you in it right now?
Yeah, I'm in it right now.
You 2 years and some change in it.
And here's why I'm saying that. What too many people do, and I started realizing this from past failures I've had. Mm-hmm. It took me 15 years of training to make the Olympic team.
Yeah.
And then when I got out of sports, all of a sudden I wanted quick success. I expected everything to come. Oh, I'm gonna start a podcast. Oh wait, no one listened to it. Oh, I'm quitting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna start a website. Oh, no one. Oh, I'm quitting.
Yeah.
And what I realized was, it needs time. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm not starting anything unless it's worth doing it for 10 years.
Wow.
If it's not, if you're trying to start, man, you're like, oh, I want to start a social media agency, or I want to, be an Instagram follower. If it's not worth grinding on it for 10 years and not seeing what you want to see, then it's not worth it.
And I got a quote for that from Maribel. She's a conscious singer. She said, "Don't plant a seed in your mind if you don't wish to grow it." Like growing, like just the word growth, it comes with time, bro. You can't like let's look at us as humans. We didn't start out this big. Like you didn't start out. You didn't come out the womb an Olympic runner, bro. And people think that like because you there, you in it, but you grew into that. Like that took time, like 15 years. Like if it took you 15 years to make that team, make that squad, why would it take you 6 months to reach the top of the like the website, like the habit world, like whatever you're trying to do?
I'll add on to that. So here's what's crazy. I'm happy you brought that up with the analogy of plants, because this is the difference between bad habits and good habits. This is where it gets tricky for people. Bad habits are like weeds. Weeds come up real quick. You blink.
People hate weeds.
And weeds are all in your garden, all in your grass, right? But to grow like a tree, that takes years.
Years, bro. And they get rings every year.
This is what you always have to think of it like. And also, if someone's watching this thinking, well, I don't have habits. Everyone has habits.
Yes.
It's just a question of whether you're aware of them or not.
Yes.
And one simple example of that is like, if you're waiting in a doctor's office, right? Some people, anytime they're waiting, pull out their phone.
That uncomfortable time.
So yeah, you don't want to be alone.
Some gotta have their attention.
They gotta have their attention on something. So one thing you can do is say, okay, well, if I'm gonna pull up my phone anyways, I'm gonna go on Kindle and I'm gonna read a book. So that's a way of taking something you already do and adding a positive
baby
spin on
steps.
it. Yes.
Baby steps.
Exactly, baby steps. But positive habits, right?
Yeah.
They're painful today and the reward comes tomorrow.
It's astronomical, bro.
But negative habits, they're really
pleasurable.
Yes.
In the moment.
The moment,
you love it.
So tasty.
You love it.
You get that donut, bro. Oh my gosh. In the moment, you're like, yes, yes, yes. But then when that diabetes come though.
And now you got to deal with that. And now you got to live in that.
Exactly. And so you have to, a lot of people don't feel their negative habits. And then all of a sudden they come on you with health problems, marriage problems, like all of these things that you haven't tended to.
It started as a habit, bro.
It started as a habit. It started as something, you speak to your wife in a certain way and you build on that year after year after year after year.
You just get better. Like if it's a positive way you speak it to your wife, you just get better and better. If it's a negative way,
it gets worse.
You get worse and worse, bro. And it causes domestic violence and other things that
gets worse.
But it's a small habit you don't even notice that got you that reward or got you that punishment.
There we go. So where I'm going with all that though is when you think with a 10-year mindset, you're always thinking, okay, where do I want to be in 10 years? It's way easier to stick to positive things.
Yes.
Right? Like if you think about working on this for 10 years, that's going to move you in a positive direction. And even if it's not like, maybe this doesn't blow up the way you want, but it's still going to lead to other opportunities. You're going to meet a ton of people and it's going to, it's going to change your life if you stick with it.
Yes.
But negative habits, if you think about, okay, I'm going to eat this thing. What if I eat stuff like this all the time? What's that going to do to my life in 10 years? Oh, I'm going to gain weight. Am I going to be happy with that? No. So maybe I shouldn't do this. And that's not to say that you can never enjoy life, right? Like I like cookies, I like all that stuff, but it helps you to keep it tame.
Keep it tame.
Keep it under control. Yeah. Because the thing I always say to people is it's not about what you do 10% of the time. It's about what you do 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So you can eat ice cream. You can have the ice cream 10% of the time. No problem. There's people who are super fit.
No, the 90, what you doing?
90% of the time is if you eat vegetables, you eat good food. You do it 90% of the time, you're gonna be all right.
You're gonna hit that target. Yes, good answer. Like good open view of that, bro. But so jumping into like failures, and you kind of hit on it a little bit. Sorry, Marquis, I picked up the mic. So do you ever plan like for failures when you start a new habit? Like, do you ever like foresee it?
Yes. One, you're gonna have failures. You're gonna have days you miss. So for anyone listening, I track my habits every day. So I know, like I can tell you in the last 3 years, like how many days I've not read or how many days I've not gotten up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like I know, like I track it. Like, so I always know what's up. And the thing about it is, what I've noticed from people is they will start tracking their habits and they're feeling really good. They're like, yeah, I'm doing this. This is great. And then they miss one day and they quit. And I'm like, bro, you're going to fail. You're going to have days you're not going to do it. You're going to have days you're going to eat the cookie. You're going to have like, and even from like a Christian standpoint, right? Like we're sinners. We're broken. We're not perfect.
Yeah.
So
you're going to have mornings you miss the Bible
you're
reading.
going to have mornings that you're going to hit that snooze button 4 times. You know you shouldn't do it. But the key is, it's not about just falling. It's about being able to get back up.
Yes.
And being able to say, okay, I didn't do it that way, but let me
Here's
get
what I'm
back on
doing
track.
next.
And one thing my friend actually said to me, I was like, we were wanting to start working out together, and he actually trained with me at Iowa State, and he was like, I was like, let's work out every other day, and he wanted to actually go just every day, because he's like, the thing is for me, he's like, if I skip, then I start to make it a habit, and I'm like, hey, that's cool, and let's do it every day then. Let's find a way to do something every single day, and it's just it's just understanding that if anything can become a habit, right? If you say you want to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you
can do it.
That will become a habit of just hitting snooze 3 times, right? I know people like that.
Oh
they have to
goodness.
hit snooze like 4 or 5 times to get up, and that's just like the habit they've gotten into, and you have to find a way to break that and be like, no, the alarm's gonna go off once, and I'm getting my butt out of bed.
I'm getting up.
And then that over time starts to become the new habit. But you can turn anything into a habit.
Yeah, but and like the reason why I wanted to get that, because like people create habits and never see the failure. Like the failures that they can, like, okay, let's say if I'm gonna start reading every day. But today, my fiance Sam, her car broke down today in my reading hour. I'm probably not gonna read that day because I'm gonna go help her, obviously, like, because stuff happens, it's life, but like you gotta see these like small things that can come in and sway you away from your habit, and you gotta recognize it. Like you gotta know it's there. Like, yo, this is what I'm doing, and you had the checks and balances. But following out the checks and balances and checkpoints, how do you track these habits? I know how you track them, but open that up.
Yeah. So I use a habit tracker personally,
and that's his app.
Yeah, I have my own app on iOS called Habit Stacker.
Yep.
But the big thing that I always encourage people with, and to help avoid that problem you just talked about, is that's part of the reason why getting up in the morning works so well. Because if you can get up, like this is harder for me now that I have kids, but if I didn't have kids, I would get up in the morning and I would get all my habits done. So then by 7 o'clock, when most people are getting up, bro, I've read for 30 minutes already. I've done my push-ups. I've done my workout. I've stretched. I've done all the things that I feel like I need to do. So my day is already successful. So I can watch 2 hours of television later because I've gotten the things that are important.
I check the list.
So that's what I strongly encourage people to do. Like front load your day. If you want to meditate, front load it. Get up out of bed 10 minutes earlier than normal and meditate for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then do 5 minutes of push-ups or whatever it is that you want to do.
Just that simple.
To start your day. Like and it really is. Like it's a little bit of sacrifice. But
it goes really back to consistency too, bro. Yes. That you talked about.
Yeah. And it's not going to make a big difference in your energy levels if you get up 20 minutes earlier. It's really not. Like,
no,
it's not going to change anything.
And people feel like they got to sacrifice. It's like sacrifice that 20 minutes is everything, bro. It's everything to people. So diving into habits. Other than like after the dive in of habits, should I say? Other than building habits, like, what are some other strategies that you can give to young professionals out there, people who are trying to grind and make it, like, other than habits and consistency, which is the message? Don't get it wrong.
I would say one of the biggest things is understanding how habits fit in with goals and a mission. So the one thing people are very good at is setting goals. Most people know how to set goals, but most people are horrible at hitting those goals.
Yes.
And the reason why is goals are result oriented. But success comes from following a process. So you look at Nick Saban and Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
These guys are really good at what they do because they're process coaches. And if you hear what they talk about, Nick Saban has a thing called do your job. When everybody does their job, there's not problems.
Yeah.
The reason things start breaking down is because people stop doing their job and they start focusing on other people's job.
Yeah.
And then things start breaking down because they're not doing their job. Do your job. And when you focus on a process, you can control that process. So for example, you cannot control how many people listen to your podcast.
No.
But you can control how many podcasts you put out.
Yes.
Right? Like you can't control how many sponsors want to hop in on
Yeah.
this, but you can control how many people you reach out to.
Yep.
So what it does is it removes the control from these things that are really out of your reach to realizing, okay, I'm going to follow this process. And that's what I realized with the blog. If you know how to do SEO, you know how to do keyword research, and you write the content out, and you're willing to do that, and you're willing to put out a lot of content, you're going to grow your traffic.
Yes.
The process, it works. So I just follow the process.
Yeah.
I don't worry about the result of getting more traffic because it comes from the result of that process. And I'll put it to you like this. Would you rather, for people watching this, if you had to pick between someone to be successful, would you pick someone who has these really big goals, like I'm going to be a millionaire in a couple of years?
Yeah.
Or would you pick the person who's just showing up and doing the work every single day, but they don't necessarily have the goal? They just are putting in work on a process.
Yep.
You're going to take the process person because you know it's going to lead to something.
And it's going to get done.
People who are just talking about goals, they're just talking. So what you end up doing then is you start off with a mission, one big thing you want to accomplish in your life. And I consider that to be the thing you want to accomplish on your deathbed.
Yep.
And then from that mission, you have goals that lead to that. And you set goals that like are big ones, like 40-year goals. Where do you want to be? 30-year goals, 20-year goals, 10-year goals, 5-year goals, 4-year, 3-year, 2-year, 1-year, 6-month. Then from there, you set habits to make sure that you're staying in line.
Every single one of those goals got to have a process.
Yes. Then they all have to have a process.
And that process is the most detailed. Like the process is way more. So if my goal is to make $1 million, how? Whole goal is not to make $1 million.
How are you going to do that?
Like, so
exactly. And
the process is the best.
Yes. And thinking through it with like working out is just like the easy way for me to think of it a lot of times. But
a lot of people can relate to it too.
If you just say, well, I want to lose 15 pounds. Okay, cool. What are you going to do every day to make sure that you lose 15 pounds?
The sacrifice you're going to make.
Well, shoot, okay. I'm going to track my habits and make sure that I don't eat sugar.
Yeah.
So I know how much days I'm eating
Probably should cut sugar.
Cool. I'm going to make sure that I run every single day. I'm going to run for 3 miles every day. Okay, cool. I'm going to make sure that I do 30 minutes of weightlifting. Cool. Now you have a process you can follow. So every day I'm going to do these 3 things.
You're going to check the boxes.
You're going to check those boxes, make sure you get them done. And as you continue to follow that process, you will get closer towards that goal. And if you're not,
you're doing something wrong.
Yes, you're doing something wrong, and you can check and be like, okay, wait, what's wrong here? Okay, wait, you know what? Maybe I need to cut out some meat out of my diet. Maybe that's not working for me. Okay, I'm gonna cut out some meat. Okay. And I'm not saying people should or shouldn't cut out meat. I'm just giving you an example.
You got to find a process that works for you.
You got to find a process that works for you.
Yeah.
And when you're tracking your habits every day, that's why I track them, because what you track, you can measure, and what you measure, you can improve.
Yes.
If you don't weigh yourself every day, you don't know what your weight's at. It's hard to really improve it. But that's why, like you look at in sports, right? Most people know if you're playing basketball, they know how many points they scored.
Yeah.
They're tracking it so that they can try and improve it.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't,
you shot this percentage.
Yes.
You did that percentage.
Exactly.
You're tracking. You did that time. It's tracked. It's all documented.
You know. So what numbers you're continually tracking, you're keeping them front and center. You're gonna be looking at them, and you're gonna be finding ways to improve them. Yo,
dope, man. Look, I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate everything you gave us today, man. Dope, bro, man.
You know
love
what
it,
is, man.
Love it. Go ahead.
I'm just thankful to be on, man. And I love what you're doing, and that's my biggest thing. Stay consistent.
And he's in my corner to keep me consistent, keep giving you guys this information, giving you guys this content.
Amen.
So the minds of it, Hakeem, appreciate you, brother. It just that wraps up another episode. The season finale. I forgot to shout that out more, Key. You the man behind the camera, you supposed to remind me. Season finale. We appreciate you, Ian, for coming on and closing up this first season, bro. And hope the best for you, bro. And I'll be beside you in most of the things that you do. So
and I'll be excited to come back season 10, season 15, season 20.
So and just shout out Habit Stacker and Boasting Christ, and both of that. All that's gonna be posted in the bio, and we'll try to drive more traffic to that as best as we can, big dog. But y'all have a blessed day. Peace.